Okay, you can write however you want. Just write a few minutes. Maybe you want to draw a picture. What does it mean to be linear? What are the things involved with something linear? It says profit and what you're selling. Okay. Make sure your axes are labeled. B, did you use lines? Did you connect your points with a line? Why or why not? Okay, so are they labeled? Check your work. Which one? And then go ahead and make sure you guys agree to your answers with 1 and 2. That means sharing, like, okay, it should be fairly obvious which company is increasing. And then I want you to be able to talk about number 2. Make sure you're using complete sentences when you talk about number 2. Make sure you use complete sentences when you talk about number 2. Be ready to talk in your groups. And in a few minutes, we're going to talk as a whole class. So make sure you have something good to say. Okay? Please share in your groups. If your group isn't done, then talk in your partners. Talk in your partners if your group is not done. I'm just going to write them down in bullet form. Ansel, what do you think?
Add straightforward without much change or without change at all.
What else? Linear. Xander.
It has a starting and ending point, like y-intercept.
Starting point. Ooh, y-intercept, using some math words. Y-intercept. Kale? Okay, no fluctuations. When you say straight, do you mean like it's linear if it does this?
It's linear and it's constant.
Like that's linear? Is that what you said? Like straightforward. That's what I said, straightforward. So like this is linear, but this isn't, because this is going up, and that's change?
No, that's linear.
It doesn't matter.
If it goes up by the same amount.
Okay, so it does change, or it doesn't change?
The slope has to stay the same if you're talking about
Oh my gosh, if we're talking about it staying the same. What did you say again? Say it again, Ansel.
If you're talking about a graph, the slope has to stay the same. It doesn't matter how it's increasing or decreasing. It just can't change from whatever it starts from.
The slope doesn't change, right? So it's either going up or, Jolie said it could be going down, but what's the key piece there? It could go up or down, but what?
Steady.
But it's steady. It stays the same. It's by the same amount each time. Okay? What else do you guys know? I know you've heard of this. What else do you know about lines?
Goes on forever.
Goes on forever. Yeah. We have a linear equation. What's a linear equation then? Oh. See, I told you guys you knew. Y equals mx plus b. Quick review. The quickest review you've ever had of y equals mx plus b. I'm going to write it right here. Review. This is the last thing we are doing today, so please make sure you write it down and you write it down well. Okay? Review of linear equations. I'm going to write something different than you're used to. Y equals b plus mx. This is how I talk about lines. Y equals b plus mx. Because here's the deal. You begin with b. Okay? You begin with b. Otherwise known as your y-intercept. There's all kinds of ways to talk about that. But all of us have seen this at one point or another. You begin with b. And you move with m. Okay, you begin with b, you move with m. B is your y-intercept. M is your slope. You've all seen it. We're just putting it now in our notebooks so that we remember, so that we shake some dust off our summer brain. Okay, this is where we will pick up on Wednesday. Mr. Harishu is going to hand you your homework. Okay? Yep, you can keep your classwork. Homework 2.1, please take a moment and glue it into page 4 is where you should be about of your notebook. So you can scoot at the end of the table if you don't want to. Why don't you just do that? Turn that chair and sit right here. It's right at the end of the table. Make sure that everyone gets a chance to speak. Okay? I don't want anyone to say I said the same thing. All right? So as part of a group, making sure you're helping each person get their voice heard. Okay? Everyone should share. They don't have to share a lot, but everyone should share. If we're keeping track here. Okay, so we should have index, right? We should have A2 behind that. Okay, A2 is page 1. If you already messed up and you glued wherever you glued it, okay, I'm going to fill that out for my index, right? I'm going to say A2 starts on page 1. So for index, A2, linear functions, is on page 1. Anytime we start a new learning target, this will be the process we go through, so you guys will get used to that a little bit. I'm sorry?
Will you check notebooks?
Yes, I will be checking notebooks. All right, so we should have a little nice organized notebook. Everyone's okay? Groovy. Okay, so first thing I want you to do, have your index. The first thing we're going to talk about what's the date? You don't necessarily have to write the prompt if you don't want to. I'm calling that a game. You can call it an activity. So why did we just do that? Okay, I want you to take a few minutes to write out why do you think we did that? What similarities does it have with this class? What similarities does it have with a real life job? Okay. One of the goals by the end of this year is to have some of you guys actually working in print shops around Portland and internships. Okay? So one of the things that Mr. Harishu and I will be working on is building some partnerships with local businesses, right? Like there are actually businesses that are print shops. Okay, and one of the goals is for those of you interested, we'll be able to go and hopefully get a paid internship next summer working in a print shop. Okay? The question here is, so that whole Get 5, right? It's a little math game on the calculator. But what's behind it? Why did we play it, do you think? What similarities does it have with this class? And what similarities might it share when you get into a real life job? Maybe some of you already have those. Take a few minutes, maybe 2 or 3 minutes, to write a few sentences, and then you'll share out with your table. But for now, I just want you to think on your own. Okay, 2 or 3 minutes to think on your own about that one. Please use full sentences when you're writing.
So here on the top is the buttons we can use, and on the bottom is the buttons we don't have to use. So I guess we didn't get the answer correct because we used it in 3 equals instead of 2, but I'll explain my answer still. So we said 9 times 3 is 27. Wait, no, 9 divided by 1 is 9 times 3 is 27. And then 27 minus 2 is 25. And then 25 divided the square root of 25 is 5. So, it didn't
So
work.
did you guys catch what he said? What did he say his answer was wrong? Why did he say that?
Because we ended up pressing the equal sign behind.
Cool. Can you help him?
Yeah, but we did it the exact same thing, but we just put it in all one square root.
Yeah.
That's how we did it.
So you saying you did it exact same except what?
Well, it's they divided 9 by square root of 25 like we did, but you instead you put the square root at top. Just did it. I was in a different order.
So explain to us, Kane.
So, see, our square root is, we figured out that square root of 25 is 5. So 9 times 3 is 27 minus 2 is 25. Divided by 1 is 5.
What do you guys think about that? And you think you did it the same way?
Similar.
I think we had it similar. Ours is a little bit more stretched out. Theirs is all compacted to one.
Right.
Which ours is kind of a little bit more spread out.
Yahi, does that eliminate your problem of pressing equal too many times?
Yeah, I guess so.
Right? Because can you guys see how these are the same? Right? The steps being, the only one that's questionable is this divide by 1 wherever you do that is questionable. But right, multiplying by 3, minusing 2, and the square root, they did in the same order, which is awesome. Beautiful. Thank you guys. Thanks to Yahi. Yeah,
Yeah, my
I didn't calculate. Awesome. So, get out your notebooks for me, please. You can move right there. Yeah.
There it is.
I know, we're gonna be snug. Notebooks, as a reminder, we should have wrote index on the first page, did we? But didn't, okay, I lied to you. Write index on the first page. We did fill out the website though, yes? Yeah, we did. Should have the website on the front cover. Write index on the first page. I'm going to take those to the back.
Yep.
Do you want a graphing notebook, Chris? Does that have graph paper in it?
I don't think so.
Let me give you a graphing paper one. Oh, sorry, I lied. And then behind index, I want you to glue this half sheet in. The page behind index. Glue that half sheet in. Right, so on the back of index, There's a glue stick. I got them. Oh, you have extra? Does anyone was absent? Anyone else need a graphing notebook? You can also write A2 linear functions on that progress sheet. Do you want graphing?
I have one in my locker. I just didn't want to waste time going to get it because I lost.
Okay. On the back of index. Also, so again here, like same page. How many times did you guys press equals?
We pressed it once because our second time was a May press, so we didn't have to. But what we did was we did the square root of 9 times 3 minus 2 divided by 1, which was the square root of 25 square root of 25 divided by 1, which was 5 in the end because the square root. Oh, yeah. And turns out we didn't actually have to close the parentheses in the end. So, magic. We didn't have to close the parentheses, so we got away this time.
So for them, right, like they didn't have to close the parentheses, which is a little bit cleaner. Any questions for them? Cool. Thank you guys.
Yep.
Round of applause.
So this is the way that we found out how to do it, and we sort of set up our equation differently. So up here we have our list of what we have to press over here, and then what we can press on this side. And so the way that we worked it out was we found out that 16 could be used, and if we found that, then we could just sort of, if we square rooted that, we would get 4, and then we could just add a 1 there, which would make it a lot easier. So we just did the 9 multiplied by 2, and then that got us 18, and then we subtracted 2 to get 16. And then in another equation over here, we did the square root of 16, which is 4, and then plus 1, and then we get to 5. And on the calculator, if it's even on the screen, there you go. Yeah. And then, so you just do 9 multiplied by 2, and then subtract 2, which equals 16 there. And then you do square root there of 16, and then you just have to close off that equation, and then you just add 1 to that, and it gets you to 5.
Also, you don't need to close off the equation either.
No,
Why
yeah,
couldn't you do that, Yahi? What do you think? Huh? Order operation. What did he have to press? Kale? Yeah. So he had to press a parenthesis, which technically it doesn't say you can. And I would agree, because I think another group did that as well. Like the calculator gives you that square root, so you kind of have to close it. How do you guys feel like he had to type in 16 again? That's fair? Okay, all right, I'll give it to you.
Okay.
Any questions for Tanner? Any questions for him? Awesome. Thanks, guys. This room is talking, that you are not interrupting them. You have the screen if you want it. You can do however you'd like to. Also, you all know the clues, so you should maybe double check that their way was actually valid.
Okay, so we first made a list of lots and ones that you may have to use. We don't really have to.
A little louder for us, Patrick.
Okay, so
You want this?
So first we made a list of the ones that we have to use, and the next ones we use. The next ones, the ones that we don't really have to use.
And then so what we did, so we have to use a square in the 9. So we squared the 9, which equals 3. And then we had to use a minus and a 1. So we minus 3, use 3 minus by 1, so that equals 2. Then we added 3, and it equals 5. And then here's what it looks like on the calculator.
Oh.
So let's square that. So square 9, that equals 3. And then we minus 1 plus